Kochie's Business Builders is proudly brought to you by our partners Dell, KPMG and Amex, who are helping small businesses grow.
On Kochie's Business Builders, celebrity chef MANU FEILDEL on transitioning from TV star to business owner. The entrepreneur is showing us how to build a precinct rather than just a business, and how you can use your digital data to improve customer service. G'day and welcome to Kochie's Business Builders, where we love talking about all things small business, and boy do we have a terrific show in store for you today. Celebrity chef MANU FEILDEL needs little introduction. As the former co-host of My Kitchen Rules, he's helped turn dozens of home cooks into household names and elevated cooking into an Aussie art form. He's also had more than a few culinary successes of his own, heading up three-hatted restaurants. More recently, he's been put to the test on SAS Australia. But few people know him as a small business owner and entrepreneur. His most recent business venture is La Botanique, a one-of-a-kind multi-purpose venue for creators of film, food and functions.
Hi, I'm MANU FEILDEL. We're here at La Botanique, which is a film still photography studio with 2 kitchens and also got the by MANU sauce range. Restaurants are hard to make money out of nowadays. I still love cooking, it's my passion forever. But I also done a lot of TV the last 13, 14 years. And I've had that dream of putting the two together under one roof, I suppose. The challenges of launching La Botanique was just tough. It was tough because we started building through the first wave of COVID. So it was a start and stop and start and stop. And it took forever and cost me a lot of money. The time we opened this place, everyone walked in with eyes wide open going, wow, this place is absolutely amazing. And we've been open nearly a year, and everyone that comes here still have the same wow effect. Being an entrepreneur, I had to learn on the go. I didn't do the studies. I didn't go to school for long enough to learn business, I suppose. It's a beautiful journey, but it hurts. It hurts mentally, it hurts physically, and it hurts the bank as well, for sure. It's a tough gig, and I think it's just you've got to follow your dreams, follow your passion, and don't give up.
MANU, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us, was food always your passion? Is this what you always wanted to do?
No. I've always loved the stand-up comedy and the circus and so on. And I said to my mom, I'd love to join the circus. And my mom went, what am I going to do with you? My dad was running a restaurant. And I've always loved food.
Yeah.
So when I started working with my dad, it was just like the epiphany going, oh, that's what I want to do.
And you've always been a performer. Now we know where you got it from wanting to get in the circus. We know you from My Kitchen Rules, Ready, Steady, Cook. Now you become an entrepreneur. Why?
I think it's just happened naturally, I suppose, in a way. But entering the TV world was quite lucky, I suppose. But very early on, I kind of realized how fickle TV can be.
No.
And I just thought, I'm lucky to have this gig, but I can feel that it could stop at any time.
Why didn't you go straight back into a normal restaurant?
Owning a restaurant versus having La Botanique is La Botanique runs by itself in some ways. I'm renting the space. Now, if you want a caterer, it's on top. If you want chairs and tables, it's on top. If you want a musician, it's on top. So the model is good because I don't have overheads, I suppose. The customer pays for the cleaning, the customer pays for the electricity and gas in some ways.
Have you had to build the social media strategy as well?
Yes, every Thursday lunch, I do a live cooking class using my sauce. And I've been doing this for 3 months now. And it's doing very well. So you suddenly have a live audience every week, and that's what I'm concentrating on.
And good to see you.
Thank you, babe.
Thanks, MANU, for being so forthcoming on both your successes and also your failures. And if you'd like to see more of MANU and his story, You can watch the full interview online. Just head to kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au. Stay with us. After the break, we learn about a new food and entertainment precinct coming to Western Sydney. Welcome back to the show. Now, with the increased growth across Western Sydney, business partners Jacob Faragher and Philip Halani identified an opportunity to create a new food and entertainment precinct to both appeal to locals and attract tourists. Building upon their years of experience as successful hospitality operators in the area, they're about to open the Orchard, a unique premises that brings together restaurants, markets, gardens, and even an animal yard for the kids, all set on the banks of the Nepean River. We spoke with Phil and Jacob to find out why now was the right time to expand their business offering.
Hi, I'm Jacob Faragher.
Hi, I'm Phil Halani, and we're the owners of the Orchard. So I reached out to Jake for a bit of advice in opening my own business. We've become good mates, and then from there, we found the site for Percy Plunkett. It's been 3 years since, and it's been amazing since day one. Our strengths are very different, so we work really well together. Jake's been in business for a long time, so he understands the numbers and the business side of things. I'm very hospitality focused, you know, making sure we give the best guest experience. So together, we create a pretty good partnership.
And joining me now in the studio is Phil Halani, one of the driving forces behind the Orchard. Phil, it looks fantastic. Tell us about how you came up with the concept.
I'd always loved the river precinct. You know, there's parks, there's playgrounds, there's families, and we always knew there was something special there. So it was something, as soon as we seen the For Lease sign, it was something we had to take. And
what's your background? Have you always been in hospitality?
Yeah, I've been in hospitality before I was even in hospitality. Our family, our background's Lebanese, and you know, all my earliest memories of my family inviting people over for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for us, hospitality's been in our blood from day one.
So what was the motivation behind the Orchard, though, to take it into a much bigger idea?
We don't like the fact that people kind of forget about Penrith. You know, if you're driving to the Blue Mountains, you bypass Penrith. We really wanted to showcase Penrith and what it had to offer. So we thought this opportunity here would allow us to do that, create a destination-based venue, which we're really excited about.
Look, like every small business and establishing it, you face hundreds of challenges. What were the biggest for you?
The biggest challenges with Percy Plunkett and the Orchard has always been cash flow, but we find with the support Commonwealth Bank has given us has been amazing. Our bank manager, Carey, has been with us along the journey the whole way, and we love the fact that the apps integrate with the accounting software.
How are you going to market the precinct, and what are the plans going forward?
Marketing for us, we're lucky with Percy Plunkett that we got the local community support. A big thing for us when we opened Percy Plunkett, we didn't realise how strong the community support would be. So for us, other than obviously making sure we bring on a PR agency, obviously social media is a big thing for us as well. So making sure we tap into all the areas that will help us maximise our potential.
That's an issue that a lot of small business owners forget, don't they? They say, OK, we're here for people to walk in the door, and when you're here, we'll look after you. But then giving back is so powerful, isn't it, in building that tribe and the loyalty?
Yeah, giving back is so important. It has to be genuine as well. So every year for the last 3 years, we do a pay what you want day, and all the money we raise on that day goes straight to charity. 100% of the income goes to charity. So
wow, it is so powerful, mate. All the very best with it.
Thank you. You're always welcome.
Well, it sounds like a fantastic business opportunity the guys have, and we wish both Phil and Jacob and the whole team at the Orchard all the best with the launch.
AIG was first formed in 1988, and we're an organisation that provides solutions for the Indigenous communities here in the Northern Territory with respect to health, employment, business support services, as well as food safety. The organisation has a wealth creation arm, which is a number of assets that we have across Darwin that generates revenue for us that we put back into critical services that find new solutions to old problems here in the Northern Territory. That includes community stores, our remote laundries projects, as well as supporting organisations like the Nova Peris Foundation to deliver strategy and ultimately to deliver on what their vision and mission are. The best advice I was ever given is to trust and truly believe that everyone hops up every day going out there to do their best. And if you launch your day from that platform, You will always find the best in every situation, the best in every human being. You'll look at every problem from a solutions-based perspective, and you'll also understand that if someone's having a rough day, you can help them.
Look, AIG is working hard to build stronger communities for Aboriginal people living in the Northern Territory, which includes providing Indigenous organisations, business owners and budding entrepreneurs any business solutions they need to achieve success. It's terrific to hear from Chief Executive Elizabeth Morgan-Brett on how she connects with people from all walks of life. Stay with us. After the break, we meet a small business that's helping banks keep your personal information safe. It's time once again to take a look at this week's Entrepreneur in the Spotlight, and continuing our focus this month, thanks to the Dell Women's Entrepreneur Network, we have another fantastic female business leader who's kicking goals, this time in the fintech space. Joining me is Dell Technologies Ambassador Jo Burston. And Jo, I understand this week's success story was created utilising global networking and know-how combined with good old Aussie innovation.
Thanks, David, that's right. Jill Berry moved to Australia from the US 12 years ago for a sea change, never expecting it to lead to running her own business here. And after bootstrapping and building Adatree, Jill and her team now work with fintechs, banks, lenders, and companies looking to leverage consumer data rights to give them competitive advantages.
I'm Jill Berry, CEO and co-founder of Adatree. Adatree is an Australian technology platform that takes something really complex and regulated. We make it really easy. We help businesses access and leverage data through the consumer data right. I've always worked in product development, so I think that more broadly, I like critical thinking and problem solving. This is my first time running a business, and I never wanted to run a business, actually. The reason that we can bring this to market is largely because of the team and the capabilities in that team. We're giving banking data to fintechs, regtechs, lenders, banks, unsurprisingly, those type of companies. But what's interesting about the consumer data rights, it's economy-wide. So our federal treasury right now is looking at how can they designate data sharing across different industries. So how can you share your energy data or your insurance or your investments or maybe your identity? So everything is really on the table. At the heart of the consumer data right, it's about giving consumers and businesses control of their data so they can share it conveniently and securely, and so they can just have better choice in what they do. How can you use real-time data to create better consumer outcomes and better social outcomes as well? Instead of just theorizing that, we're actually doing something about it. I believe that all technology companies have an obligation to society, not just to be commercially focused, but to actually use their technology, their assets, and their resources for good as well. So with this, it's going to be a world first for how you access your transaction data and give consumers these customized notifications to protect themselves through data. One of the biggest challenges is customer acquisition, especially the companies that we're selling to. Since we're in a regulated industry, we're competing with companies that have major procurement processes. And the way that we've been able to do that is just being fair, transparent, and knowing our stuff. We have an excellent platform and backing it up. We've just signed Australia's largest banking fintech partnership, which is now up to about 25 banks and credit unions. Ultimately, we solve something really complex for them. We help them out. Adatree decided to delay our seed funding as long as possible. We really just backed ourselves. We started off with about 5 engineers. They're absolutely brilliant. They're principal engineers, and they're guys who just understand the regulation. And I wanted to raise after we had a unique product market fit, customers, revenue, and real traction and differentiation in market.
know what to do with your business's data? Digital transformation has been such a positive force for many Australian businesses, but there's still confusion about how to use your data to optimise your service delivery. According to a recent KPMG report, artificial intelligence adoption alone has grown 15% over the past year, and 62% of decision makers are planning to adopt it in the future. It is fascinating stuff for all our businesses. So let's find out more from Christina Kipper, KPMG partner in charge of mid-market. Christina, good to see you again. Digital data is just transforming businesses, isn't it? It is so important. How important?
Well, businesses these days collect and generate large amounts of data due to increased digitization. And this data can provide valuable insights for leaders to make better business decisions. Insights-driven decision-making can lead to better outcomes for customers and also to better efficiencies in the business. Now, they can inform even pricing, product development, and even future business models.
These COVID times have changed us all, disrupted us all, meant we've had to think laterally. How has data driven some of those decisions? What have you seen amongst your clients?
Yeah, well, look, I talked about operational efficiency, and take a manufacturing business that needs to maintain its plant and equipment. And traditionally, that's always done on a schedule based on history and averages. Now, this very manufacturer can use sensors and artificial intelligence to monitor the actual wear and tear of the machinery and intervene with repairs only if necessary. Now, that of course leads to savings in labour, in materials, and can prevent costly outages. But data can also help you understand your customers. So, for example, online retailers now analyse the buyer behaviour and then use this information to predict what buyers might want or need at any given time, and personalise the services and products that they offer and through the right channels. And this customer intelligence is really important to keep up with rising demands.
If you're a business owner that's thinking, well, you're reinforcing to me why I've got to get on board, but how do I start? Who do I talk to? Where do I go for resources to learn myself or to get some guidance?
First of all, collect the right data and analyze it with purpose. When we think about where to start, it's like, what decisions do you really need to make and what unique data can help you? Secondly, make sure it's readily accessible. Now, to your point, Kochie, even when businesses already have a lot of data, often we find it's stored in silos across the business. So the first step is to connect it through technology integration. And the aim is to achieve a single view of all the data to get those real-time insights and be able to respond really quickly. And finally, it needs to be secure. So be mindful of how you collect and use data so that you can comply with any relevant privacy laws. And most importantly, make sure you manage cybersecurity risks.
Fabulous tips. If you'd like to know more about how you can grow your business through digitisation, visit KPMG's website. On this week's Ask Kochie, an emergency nurse who has started her own holistic counselling business is after some advice.
Hi there, my name's Ellie Forster and I'm an emergency nurse in Melbourne who runs a small business offering holistic counselling services to kids, teens and adults. And I'm wondering what small and effective marketing strategies you might have moving forward in the pandemic.
Well, to help Eloise find the answers she needs, I'm joined in the studio by Jonathan Moody, founder of successful on-the-go therapy service, Physio Inc. Jonathan, how are you? Thanks for joining us. What sort of marketing strategy should Eloise adopt in this time in the wellness space?
With Eloise having a counselling service, I think that connecting with the community and staying very community-minded, making sure that she gets into local events. Mental health is really, really hot topic. And if she can break down the barriers and get it out in the community and keep it really organic.
What about telemarketing and online consultations. We're all used to it from being locked down. Is that an area to be looking at?
Telehealth is really easy to do, i.e. you can download a telehealth app as a practitioner and get online and be up and running very quickly. Things that you can do online you can't actually do in person. Focus on those things. Like if you're working with kids, you might have costumes that you duck offline and come back in screen, where in person you can't quite engage like that. Using creativity and innovation for telehealth would be a fantastic thing to do to make your service really buzz.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, because the customer has so many options. It's up to them to decide what's best for them, and you've got to offer it as a health professional, don't you?
That's right. And making sure you're really nailing it and break down those barriers that are seemingly up from the screen.
Thanks, Jonathan. Some great tips there. Really appreciate your time. Well, thanks for joining me for another episode of Kochie's Business Builders, and thanks to all of our guests. Connecting with other entrepreneurs can really help you on your business journey. So find us on Facebook, LinkedIn or Twitter and join our small business community. I'll see you at the same time next week. Bye for now.